There are a few things in life that completely change the way I work and live. Planning my day is one of them. But for most of my life, I didn't plan anything. I started the day in reaction mode instead of being proactive. So I actually wasted a lot of time. Time that could have been spent practicing, writing music, creating videos, reading, exercising, or simply being present with the people I care about. So if you struggle with procrastination, feel like there's never enough time, or think that planning would make your life feel restrictive, let me share my story because over the years I've learned that structure doesn't take away freedom, it actually creates it. Hey everyone, Mark here. Welcome back to another episode of Mindset of a Musician. This week's topic is how I structure my day as a musician. And I've touched on this topic a few times in previous videos, but I feel like it deserves a video of its own. So, a lot of creative people seem to struggle with structure and planning, and I know I certainly did. Because there's often this belief that planning your day will somehow take away freedom or spontaneity. And while that can happen if you take it too far, I found the opposite to be true. Because having structure actually created more freedom. It helped me become more intentional with my time and literally improved every area of my life. So let's start with my story and why I never planned my days. So nobody ever taught me time management, whether in school the teachers didn't, at home my parents didn't, my friends didn't, and I had no mentor who could have taught me that. So my belief system was styled in a way that structure meant restriction, planning meant less freedom, and creativity, which was so important to me, meant spontaneity. So I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I didn't want to plan my day. So I was thinking that that gave me freedom. But ironically, and we'll come to that in the next chapters, it robbed my freedom because I had no intention what I was doing. I was not reflecting on what I was doing. So I was doing that over and over again without really looking for something that I could have improved or something that I could do differently to get better and get better faster. So I think I wasted a lot of valuable time just with decision fatigue. And all of that shaped my identity. I was a night owl at heart. I went to bed very late and I had real problems getting out of bed in the morning. So I started the day reacting instead of acting. And I literally just lived for the day. So the consequence of that was me lacking of intention, me not keeping any appointments, me being not reliable to other people. And I had no real obligations, but I had some responsibilities that I just didn't recognize. So the realization came years later when I was 29 or 30. We'll come to that in the next chapter. And I realized that freedom wasn't the problem, it was a lack of intention. So it was not until my late 20s, like 5 years ago, when COVID hit, that my band and I decided to invest some money into a music marketing platform that teaches music marketing. And that guy was talking about planning your day. And that was my first introduction into structuring a day and a week, because he was talking about planning the releases, planning the content, planning when to do that, because that is so important to become aware of the timelines, and that goes hand in hand with backward planning the releases. And it was an eye-opener to me because from that moment on I realized that planning was actually something good. Planning worked. I realized that now I started to get after some things that I would have procrastinated instead. So it took some time to get into it and get a feel for how long some things take. But eventually I expanded the system and I started planning non-musical things into my calendar as well. And suddenly the decision fatigue disappeared. I woke up with a clear intention what I wanted to do on that given day. So I wasted less energy and I had fewer decisions to make. But the most important thing to me was that I became aware of time wasters. I started reflecting on my habits and especially the bad habits. So I realized that, for example, my phone was a big distraction and I didn't realize that before. I knew that it was not good, but I had no idea how much time I was spending on my phone and that it was distracting me from all the things that I was now getting after because of my plan. For example, when I scheduled a 30-minute practice session with my guitar, I had a 10-minute block of rhythm workout, a 10-minute block of backing track, jam, and a 10-minute block of, getting after my technique. So I would start playing guitar and a message on my phone popped up. So I looked at my phone and suddenly I was scrolling on Instagram. So I realized that time passes so fast and I need to be really aware of what I was doing when I wanted to focus on my real task. So I had to get rid of any distractions. But the problem was that without a plan, you don't know what that thing is distracting you from. Because if you don't plan a certain thing to do, you are not aware that the phone is distracting you from that. There's no intention behind it. So the biggest lesson that planning my days taught me is that planning didn't restrict me. Planning gave me a direction. It gave me purpose and it gave me intention to what I wanted to do with my time. So let's talk about why structure creates freedom. So first we have to break it down without a plan. So if you have no plan, you have to constantly decide what you're gonna do. And that might lead to decision fatigue, and there's a lot of mental energy wasted. So you will have two outcomes. The first one is you think about what you're gonna do, which is very intentional. And the second one is you just do whatever comes to mind. The problem with doing whatever comes to your mind is that you will most likely choose the easiest way and we will procrastinate on the most important things on our list. So eventually your progress slows down. If you think about what you're gonna do, that is of course better, but if you haven't planned that out, you will have to spend time to sit down and think about it, and still something might pop up in your head that is important as well. So you will be distracted from the thing you wanted to do because something else popped up, and that is the real problem. So now with a plan, the important tasks are already scheduled the night before. So you don't have to decide what you're gonna do. You can just go after your time blocks. And that will lead to freedom because now you can do one thing at a time. You can fully focus on that. You can eliminate every distraction and you don't have to think about other things because they're already planned. There's less context switching, which is really important. And most importantly, you are more present with the task you're doing right now. So the big realization to me was that structure gave me direction, and that direction created freedom. So time boxing is a great way to plan your day. I'll do it in 30-minute blocks and I would recommend doing that, but you can of course do that in 1 hour, 2 hour, 50-minute blocks, whatever works best for you. But before you do that, it's really important to do some backward planning. And you usually do that the night before. So you sit down with your planner and you write down everything from priorities, to-dos, and goals you want to go after, and then put them into those time blocks. For me, it's 30-minute blocks, so I'll write down everything into those 30-minute blocks, and I estimate the duration of every task. And over time, you will get a good feeling of how long something takes, so you can adjust that over the weeks. And backward planning is something really important to me now, which I've never done before, but it helps me so much to prep everything that I can for the next day so that I don't waste time on those simple things that you can really prepare the night before. So now when you wake up the next day, you can go after every single task that you've planned out for that day. And you should eliminate every distraction possible. So try it out for at least 1 month and see what changes. See if your life changes. See if you can detect any time wasters. See what distracts you. See how valuable your time really is. And you will notice that structuring your day doesn't take away freedom, it will create it for you. So I hope this video encouraged you to start structuring your day, planning and time boxing every 30 minutes to be intentional with your valuable time. If it did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to dive deeper into topics like this, please join me in my Mindset Money newsletter. Links in the description. So thanks so much for watching and see you in the next one.